Oh shit, we're live.
This is not one.
Oh, we
are
are
live.
Hello, welcome to the Film Vomit Podcast. My name is Mac Taylor,
My name's DJ.
and we expect to go live. We were expecting to take a
Sorry, had to go shut the door.
Howard of Bronze. Anything you want to say about your memories with this film?
Not a vast majority of memories. Just I haven't watched a lot. This came out in 2000, so I was older, and I probably watched it more as a teenager. So not really family, but I love this movie. Jim Carrey's probably one of his best roles, favorite role, acting wise.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. I was a kid watching this movie. I grew up with it on VHS and stuff like this. Was more of my childhood Christmas movie, along with like Home Alone and stuff. This was always on TV around the time, so
Right.
like it always got me in the Christmas spirit to watch this for myself. Yeah, this is going to be one of those reviews where I think it's generally positive from both of us. This is a Christmas classic.
Because if there's anything too cheesy or corny, it's
It's meant
Seuss.
to be
So it's meant to
cheesy
be
and corny and over the top. So
It's
kind
not-
of it's hard to pick it
at
apart. Yeah,
But
like
it's
there are
really-
things. I think it's hard.
I can't think anything
It's really
bad
hard.
per se in it because Jim Carrey does a phenomenal
But it's
job.
Christmas. It's still the holiday season. Christmas is over, but it's still in the goodwill
Right.
part of the end of the year. So we shouldn't really be as cynical as we will be going into 2019.
Now we'll keep it positive for now, at least.
For now, because some stuff we have slated for next year could go either way. Which we have slated out our year of
4 years.
podcasting to be done, and it's going to be one heck of a year. We are ready to get Film Vomit where it needs to be. I mean, this channel's only been a thing for 2 months, and I think we've done generally well for ourselves in those 2 months.
Honestly, I don't care. It's fun.
On to the thing we are actually supposed to be talking about. We'll just jump right in here. All right. So it opens up, we get the credits, and what really sets this movie aside is the world building it does. For me, it's really good in the fact that we see the Who's in the town, and it's very like fantasy and like the hairstyles and the clothing, and it's all like a world of its own that exists in its own thing.
Well, and it should be because
Because it's Dr. Seuss.
at the time of the making of it, well, in reality, at the time of the making, this was the biggest set on Universal Studios property. I don't know but it was, I believe, 30,000 square foot, roughly.
That's
if I
a
remember
big set.
correctly. So
But like I don't know, I just every time maybe that's part of the Christmas magic with this movie is like every time that I start to watch it, I just get introduced to this, and I just immediately lost.
yeah, because they
In the
they
world.
literally introduce you to the whole Grinch world.
It's pretty great.
Or the whole
there's
Who
the guy
world.
playing like a tuba, and there's a little person who comes out of his tuba,
Playing a trumpet.
and like that's awesome. And you got, like I said, the crazy hairdos with presents wrapped in like being an extra in this film must have been so much fun.
They actually had to take all the extra. Well, I don't know about all the extras, but majority of everybody that was the Who took a class on how to be a Who. Like they went to a choreographer.
Like Mall Santas had that little Mall Santa course.
Kind of like how to be a Who. So like they actually went in depth. It wasn't just just act jolly. No, they were showed how to do it right.
It's really cool though. Like, can you imagine just being on that set and seeing all this stuff, knowing that it's gonna I mean, I don't think they ever guessed it'd be the success that it was, but like you gotta know, like we're doing something really cool here.
Well, they wanted to do this way earlier, but before Dr. Seuss passed away, he was against live action improvisation of it because of a failure of Dr. T 5,000 Fingers something or other, which I've never heard of.
Well, and then even had this Cat in the Hat bombed.
Yeah.
So it's like only the Grinch was gonna Everything else had to be animated.
Well, Cat in the Hat bombed.
Yeah, but I'm saying like everything else was like, ooh yeah, let's go back to animation. Like they'll do full length animated movies. Not we ain't doing live action shit no more.
Unless Jim Carrey's behind the makeup.
Right. Well, I don't think he'd ever do it again either because you said you had. We'll get to that in a little bit, but so we get set up in this world, and we meet Cindy and her dad. What is her dad's name?
Stu.
Stu.
Stu Lu Hu.
Stu Lu Hu. And basically, he's going through all these gifts they're getting for people, but they all rhyme with what they do, like a something. It's like a brunkle for your uncle,
a munkle for your uncle, a fant
for your aunt, which is all like probably fit. Like this is right out of a Dr. Seuss kind of thing.
Yeah,
but it's like it blends well.
Well, I don't think they made all that up.
Yeah, it's not in the story, but I mean, like it all feels part of it. Nothing feels stretched or out of place with the dialogue. And then you meet little Cindy Lou who she doesn't quite understand.
Like, isn't this a little much?
Yeah, like it isn't all the like because everybody's like shop, run,
buying everything for everybody.
Yes, like with no limitations.
She doesn't understand the Christmas spirit, and all she sees is people.
It's like
not being selfish, but
commercialism. It's more about the stuff than the being together.
Being together with people.
And she's like, I'm getting confused on what the meaning of Christmas really is. And like obviously none of this is in the book or the 30-minute cartoon.
No. And that's another reason I like this so much.
It builds its own story.
Because they took a 30-minute short in a book that's probably 30 pages.
It's mostly pictures.
Yeah. And very little words, and they made a whole story.
Whole movie out of it.
Like an hour
and like in the cartoon in the book, Cindy Lou Who shows up when he's doing the stealing the Christmas.
Cindy Lou Who was a nobody. Like I mean, just like she was a little girl that just come out and
she was cute.
Thought he was Santa, and that was it. Like Cindy Lou Who was not just a side.
But in this one, she's a small girl, but she has very contemplative thoughts.
Yeah, and granted that like Cindy Lou Who was like 2 in the
and then this one she's like 12, 10 to 12. But like still, even for that age, she's very like philosophical and like has a very like intellectual dialogue that the rest of them seem to lack.
Oh, because she's like on a whole other realm of reality in that Whoville.
Yeah, everybody else took the Who class, and Cindy Lou Who took like
skipped it.
Philosophy and psychology. And she's like, "What's going on with all this shit?" Like, you know what I mean? It's like it's cool to see a kid being the one to analyze this.
A kid is the all the adults.
But it would make her just so into this and so just caught up in this that a kid who has no stakes in this could take a step back and be like,
"Did you see any other kids in this movie?"
No. I actually wanted to ask about that. I think Cindy Lou Who is the only fucking child in this. Maybe that's why she's always questioning shit.
She's got her brother and all that. That's
her brother is like 18.
Outside of like the flashbacks to her, the other kids. But
the other ones are kids, but there's no other.
I don't recall seeing any other kids.
It's all adults and old people.
But
old.
Because and at some point you see a statue of Horton.
Yeah.
I can't. Is at some point.
Because you know Horton.
Yeah, Horton Hears a Who. I wonder if this is the same town that Horton saved.
Maybe, and I wonder if there were plans to tie these live action together.
Who voiced Horton?
Jim Carrey.
Ironic.
Kind of is, isn't it? Never really thought of it like that though, because they're so far apart when they came out. You don't even think about it, but wow, we got off topic there. And a whole subject that we didn't. Hey, you know, this is part of the conversations we have, you know, which is why we started this podcast in the first place.
Why we call it Film Vomit, because it's basically we try to keep on topic,
but
we just kind of like, oh, this thought pops up. Let's go over here for a little bit.
But then we meet Cindy's brothers,
Drew, and one of them's Drew, and the Drew is Rance Howard.
Drew and Lou.
Drew and Lou. Lou Who. Drew Lou Who and Lou Who.
God, it's messed up.
But Drew is Ron Howard's brother.
Clint.
Clint.
You sure? He would have been pretty young in 2000.
I know one of the brothers is his brother,
Is Clint Howard.
Clint Howard. And his dad is actually
Rance Howard.
Yes, his dad is and makes a cameo later on around the
Clint Howard,
Miser.
Rance Howard, and every single Ron Howard movie. Now Rance Howard, but
Not anymore.
still like Ron Howard directed Solo.
Right.
Clint Howard's in Solo.
Mhm.
He just always cast his brother and his dad. It's like really small, minor roles, but he always has them in. So I like whenever I see a Ron Howard movie, I always try to like, where's
Find 'em
Clint and where's Rance? It's kind of fun to do that actually. But so they're her brothers and their girlfriends, who we never really know anything about them. They're just kind of after the scene are tossed aside. We never see them again. They're going up to knock on the Grinch's door or to touch it. To touch the Grinch's door.
Because that's like
Ooh.
you touch the butt, you know.
I don't know if that was like
Not
that.
like that. But
Touching
I
the
had-
butt was
I had to-
comedic.
I had to do. But
I compare this what happens here more to like
Haunted
Wizard of
House,
Oz, where he scares them with a big, loud speaker to amplify it. Oh shit! It's got me off guard. But you know what I'm saying? Like they go
In a
up there,
sense, I can catch it, yeah. But I mean,
and the whole time they're going up the mountain. The guys are like, "Oh, you're scared of the Grinch."
it's
The
more.
girls
It's
are
more
scared
like
of the Grinch.
going to touch up the haunted house and like you're
Yeah.
afraid of the boogeyman.
Like Halloween, the Myers house in
I
a
was
sense.
trying not to bring that up. Because
We went
talked about
there
it forever.
for 10 fucking weeks almost. So we're going to talk about it.
Trying not to bring Halloween up. But yes, it's kind
You
of
never
like that,
escape it, DJ.
where it was everybody's afraid of this creature. And
Yeah.
they were gonna go up and be like, "Yeah, I'm a tough guy."
Because the Grinch is like a town legend of like how what a who shouldn't be, the evil who.
Yeah, a who is not a who; it's more like a what.
Yes. And so the boys are teasing the girls like, "Oh, you're scared of the Grinch." Then they get to the top where the Grinch's door is, and they're like,
It's almost like they were like, "Shit, this is real."
"Yeah," like they thought they would go up there and there'd be nothing up there.
It's kind of what I figured. You know?
But then there's a door, and they're like,
there's an actual door.
Shit
just got real.
But they don't want to look bad for the girls.
No, you can't.
Testosterone will drive people to do terrible.
Seriously. I've done some
things.
pretty idiotic things in my almost 30 years of life.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Me too.
Very.
Yeah. So I get it. And they go up to the door, and they go to touch it, and downstairs we see the Grinch has a little alarm. It's like intruder. And a door flies open, and this big like
mask monster looking
monster things out. Isn't it Max barking? And they're like, "Ah!" And they tumble down the mountain.
Like the whole mountain. It's
Mountain.
Crumpet. Mount Crumpet.
Crumpet? I mean, that's
Yeah.
a cool name for a mountain, honestly.
And it says that mountain is 3,000 feet.
3,000 feet. Then we cut down to the Grinch, and he's eating garbage, talking about how he hates the Who's and he hates Christmas.
Yeah. He's
And
annoyed by
what
the
happens around
jolly
Christmas time.
and how it's just he can't get any peace.
It's not the
Whereas-
holiday itself.
Whereas this, which I respect that because I hate people, but whereas this hates the Who's because he hates Christmas because they love Christmas.
Yeah.
It's not so much he hates the holiday; he just hates.
The bad things that we'll get into in a minute happened at Christmas
Yes.
time. So he's like, he hates them normally, but he really hates them
Christmas.
this time of year. But like, I like this backstory though, because it makes you really like, instead of him just being kind of like a dick, being like, "You annoy me," it's like, "Oh man, you really did go through some shit."
Yeah, like it was like
He just handled it very wrong.
that's how majority. That's what they did. It was they showed a backstory of the Grinch. That's how they made this movie.
But it's not like the whole thing. Like, there's a lot of story being told.
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
But then they're like, here's why this guy would be like, the Grinch would be like this. We never really find out what he is exactly. But this is a world of Who's, so it really doesn't matter what he is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like he's too terribly out of water. There are dwarves that are like this tall, just running around, so he can exist. This is totally believable.
Side note: it's Jeremy Howard that is Drew Lulu, not
Okay,
Clint.
so is it his son?
I'm not sure. I'm trying to find it. Yeah.
Well,
it's
Clint's
him.
in it somewhere.
Yeah, he is. Clint and Rance are both in it.
Mm-hmm.
Clint, I think, is a shopper, if I remember correctly. Clint was a shopper.
Makes sense.
But Jeremy Howard shaved his eyebrows to make the makeup go cut the makeup time in half.
I mean, hey, you do what you gotta do.
So he went like a month and a half, 2 months.
Well, no, it takes forever to grow back. Sometimes they never grow back. My dad didn't have eyebrows because he had burnt them off so much. Like he was lighting a grill and it blew back in his face. Then a couple years later, same thing. Then no eyebrows.
Yeah.
He'd have like 1 or 2 hairs. It's like right here. That would
suck.
You play with fire once, shame on the fire. Play with the fire twice, you have no eyebrows.
I don't think
That's not a saying.
I don't think that's a saying.
I've always known it to be a saying.
All right, let's get back. Talk off the eyebrows.
I know, sorry. And he's like, well, since these who's decided to come mess with me, it's time I go into town and mess with them.
I like this little setup pranks and all that.
So he gets in like this this Who, like dumb looking Who mask.
Like it's
like a hillbilly.
So
Who mask.
how I figure it is like the hillbilly teeth we have, you shove in your teeth. That's what this looks like. It looks like
they all have big teeth though.
They do.
Like big front teeth.
His teeth are like sideways and out, and like it's a hillbilly Who. It's what this looks like. So to me, it's like how he envisions it.
Yeah,
it's almost like he made that mask. Like this is what you look like, you idiots.
And then he puts like this like gray cloak on. And he goes down He goes on a garbage chute.
Which, think about it. This dude walking around in the gray cloak hoodie, while everybody else is walking around all jolly and bright clothed.
And then the kids that rolled down the mountain finally make it back, and they're like, "It was the Grinch!" And he goes, "What? What do you want?" And he's like, "Oh, wait a second, the Grinch!
Yeah.
Oh no!"
The entire town freaks out.
That's funny how his immediate sense was like, "What?
What do you want?"
Oh shit! Right, I'm not supposed to be here. It's so Jim Carrey and how because he does it over the top and craziness, but that's what makes it so funny.
He did a great job.
Because like now, when you think of the Grinch, 90% of people when they think of the Grinch are thinking something from this. Yeah. And maybe like after they might think about the book, then maybe about the Benedict Cumberbatch movie.
That just come out.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
I was gonna, but I had a lot of other things I really wanted to see that came out at Christmas time for no reason. Spider-Verse, Sherlock, or Holmes and Watson. Yeah. Why are these things coming out at Christmas time?
Stay on topic.
Sorry. It's annoying.
It makes no sense.
It doesn't. Welcome to Morrowind. Why are a bunch of good movies? They're trying to get the end of the year. People are off work or anything. But yeah, to these people making me have to balance my finances and find time to go see all this shit at the same fucking week that I want to see. Yeah, to them. So he's like, this bike drives by and it like collapses. He's like, oh, who could have done that? And he has a saw behind his back. And like he gives a kid some like weapon or something. He's like, here, go play with it. The saw. He was like, here, go play with this.
Run with it.
Yeah.
Run faster. He tells him to run with it.
Yeah. And this guy comes up to him and he blows his bad breath.
He's like, I can't let you go. I won't take no for an answer. And he burps in his face.
And it makes him pass out. So basically, Cindy's dad's like, hey, why don't you go to the mail room?
Well, he's working and she's asking all kinds of questions. And then he's like, well, I need your help. Go do this. And he goes to the separator,
something about mail and packages and
separate
shit.
The mail and all that shit.
Yeah.
She says, go back there, but look out for the separator. Which, as she goes back there, the Grinch is in the back.
He's throwing
jury duty, black mail, pink slip.
And he's just like, ah. He's aggressively throwing mail into the slots, which is honestly what a dick move. Just going like, can you imagine?
Before that, it showed him like he was taking different people's
And
mail
putting it in other people's boxes.
So it's like it'll take him years to separate this. So
Like,
he's doing everything he can.
What a petty thing to attack the United States postal system. The
Whoville States
Postal
WSPS. Sure.
That. They attacked that. And if it's anything like the shit we deal with, it'll never get sorted out. And it's all a federal offense. It's all a federal offense.
FBI should have been called.
the FBW, the Federal Bureau of Who's.
Federal Bureau of Who Investigators.
FBWI. Ooh, that would be a cool cartoon. Yes, it would. Yes, it would. Make it for adults. I'm saying, if you people who watch this would like to see an adult version of Federal Bureau of...
You say adult version, and people are like, yeah, I'll watch food porn.
I don't mean porn. I mean like South Park or something, like adult humor.
Of who's investigating
murders.
That's that Muppet murder.
Yeah, that's mostly porn.
Murders.
That is porn.
No, that Happy Street murder.
Happy Time murder.
That
Happy Street murder. Is that like Sesame Street? Happy Street murders.
You know, I just realized.
What?
We're not wearing our Grinch shirts.
You're not wearing our Grinch shirts.
we were not expecting to go live at this moment in time. We were not ready.
Yeah, I was really kind of threw us in. No, we are not stripping on. I don't even know who's
that's
watching.
That's an extra $50. Just saying.
Bitcoin disappears in the corner. Damn shit. All right, take it off.
Well.
Anyway, back to the plot here. She's like, he jumps up on the ceiling and he's like hiding in the corner. And he says something.
Oh, the mask falls.
Yeah.
And she picks up the mask and he goes, whoosh, or shoo. And then
she turns around.
No, the dog sneezes and he goes, tight. And then that's when she turns around and he goes, ah! 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 And then he drops down. This is my favorite part. I don't know why. Well, this is one of my favorite parts. But she's like, you're the Grinch.
And he goes like, he's like up here for it. And then he goes, the Grinch. And he goes like right into the camera. And it's like,
yeah.
And you see those green eyes, like right up close. Teeth, the yellow, mangled teeth.
Disgusting. Teeth are so bad. Ugh.
And later in the song, it get worse.
Yeah.
And she's like, what is this? His like mini conversation with him.
Well, I don't. At this point, she doesn't have a conversation with him when she says the Grinch. She falls into that separator thing. The sorter. That's it.
It's a sorter.
The sorter. She falls into the sorter, and she starts like drowning or falling through or whatever you want to call it.
She's gonna get like crushed. There's probably a thing, yeah.
And so he's like, "All right, Max, let's go." And he starts getting him and Max start
and
to
then
leave.
Max
bites his
down
tush.
in his ass. He's like, Max, get that out of your mouth. You don't know where that's been.
And he's like spinning around in circles, and Max is just like dogtailing it.
Max is like, really? Come on now, man.
So he's like, Max is his guilt. Max is his conscience.
Mm-hmm.
Max is his conscience. So Max is like, all right, no, this is too far. I'm a dog, and I'm against this. So you need to fix this.
This is kind of murder. Can we not do this?
So he saves her.
He goes, all right.
Grabs her, and as he walks out, takes the mask. Says, don't you know you're not supposed to take things that don't belong to you? That was his excuse to save her. She's walking out. She goes, thanks for saving me.
And he goes,
is that what you think I did?
No.
So, I was just merely saw that you weren't packaged correctly.
Right, yeah.
And he wraps her up.
He's like, here.
Which I like this little scene, because it shows it like from her perspective. So all you see is the paper flying around and glimpses of him. And then he like pulls the paper down.
Can I see your finger for a second?
Quit moving. Can I use your finger? And that was artistic for it. Like it was a good little.
Because then when her dad comes in, she's wrapped in this
she's wrapped perfectly.
And he's like,
and she's like, I like how she was stuck up. And she like throws her arms out and starts unwrapping herself. And it's like she's a walking present. She's like, Dad, and he's like, oh, you were practicing your rapping.
Which, hold on a second. If you go into a mailroom and your daughter is completely wrapped, arms and all. Your first thought.
You were practicing your
You're
rap.
rapping. As if that ever fucking happens.
Who was back here with you, and what did they do?
Exactly. Show me on the doll where they touched you. That's my first thought.
It's just the Grinch, Dad. Oh,
Yeah, that's what they all say. What was his real name? I don't care what his nickname was. This Grinch fellow.
It was Uncle from Funkle.
The uncle that got
The
the...
uncle that got the munkle.
Yeah, that guy. Oh god, this is turning into the Happy Time Murders.
Oh, God.
Which I didn't watch, so actually. I just heard it was just pointless. It was just puppets doing shocking things. That was the point of the whole thing. Yeah, man, we're not going into that. We will eventually when we cover that movie. A fan will request it at some point just to be a dick. That was blown up like I should at least look. It was probably someone saying like, "Oh, your
You
mic."
got something and there's a spider on your head. Nope.
Huh. I don't know what that. We won't discuss
I
this.
saw part of that. Oh, God.
So the Grinch.
Yeah, there we go.
Um,
We'll talk
you shut your mouth.
about
So we cut back to it's Cindy's mom. What Betty?
Betty.
Betty.
Betty Lou Who.
They all are Lou's.
So it's like,
Why do they all have the same first or middle name?
No, Lou is their last name, like Cindy Lou Who, Betty Lou Who, Drew Lou Who, Stu
Oh,
Lou
Lou Who is their
Lou,
last name.
Lou is their last name. And for
Oh, and
some-
everyone's name is.
It's
different.
like
Martha Mayhew.
Martha May Who, you know, like it's like Adiah. It's like Adiah. Everyone says Adiah. Like Adiah. Adiah.
If they're a
Two
junior, you gotta
Adiahs
go
for two.
Adiah.
It's a Stu Lou Who.
Yeah, it gets ridiculous.
It does, like, you know, it's
Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin.
Which, for those of you who do not know, I will touch on this because this is actually kind of interesting. Macaulay Culkin legally changed his middle name.
Is this 100% fact?
This is fact. He talked about it on Cinemaster's thing as well. It's real.
That doesn't mean it's fact. He could be pulling people's chain.
It's a thing. I've read like 8 articles about it.
It doesn't make it true.
Eventually, it becomes more than just that. Yeah, they're fucking with me. So Macaulay Culkin is getting his middle name changed to Macaulay Culkin. So his full name will be Macaulay Culkin. Brilliant.
That's not
Give the
really-
guy a
that is
fucking
way
award.
too much. That is a mouthful galore.
Your
Macaulay,
name is
Macaulay
already
Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin. You
Exactly.
might as well.
Hey, sir, what's your full legal name, please? Macaulay Culkin.
Like, no, sir, just
one more time, please. Macaulay Culkin. I'm getting very good at saying that. It's kind of concerning. Macaulay Culkin.
You're very comfortable. So if you ever meet Macaulay Culkin, why is there 3 Culkins?
Then we're good. All right, Macaulay
It's fun
Culkin.
to say. Like,
It is fun.
like everybody out there at this one point, just say to yourself, Macaulay Culkin. Or
Really,
Macaulay
10
Culkin.
times fast.
Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin.
Maybe it'll be like Beetlejuice, and eventually
Beetlejuice,
he'll just
Beetlejuice.
fucking appear behind me.
He's here.
Okay, so anyway, Betty Lou Who
Betty Lou Who.
is competing with Martha
Martha
Mayhew to get the best lit house
Martha
in the
May is
neighborhood.
banging of a Who. She's the banging
Who's this
Who.
actress that played Martha? Even Betty was really attractive.
Betty was Cusack, wasn't it? No, Betty was Molly Shannon. Sorry,
Oh, that is Molly Shannon.
Christine Baranski's Martha May.
Who's Christine Baranski? I need to know who this lady's been in because I like
She was
her.
in
She's pretty.
Just shoot me. I think she was in one sitcom. I think it was Just Shoot Me. She was in Mamma Mia. Mamma Mia.
But anyway, so Betty's been probably up there all day,
'Cause there's,
hammering
like,
in lights.
lights galore, and Martha May just walks out and is like, nah, strutting her stuff. And
Yeah.
she's like,
Betty's like,
hottest Lou
"Hey
out there."
Martha, I really stepped it up this year." She's like,
She's talking about something that's like ages old.
Yeah.
You know?
She's
And
like,
but this is new.
new.
It's like
It is-
it's like a Gatling gun for like Christmas.
it's like
lights.
it's like an anti-tank
It's a
gun,
Gatling gun for Christmas lights.
and she's
man.
just firing it, and they like bolt themselves in when they get up there. It's like they're shooting the bolt out with it. And it's going in, and she just goes, whoo, and walks back inside. And her house is more brightly lit. And poor Betty Lou just sits there. She even took her chandelier. He's like, isn't this the chandelier from our dining room? And she's like, we all have to make sacrifices, honey.
And she's like,
and it's like lights hammered.
And then she asked for the kitchen, the refrigerator light.
Yeah.
And like every light in the house is basically going to be outside.
Yeah.
And then later on in the movie, she steals a freaking stoplight.
Yeah. And I love Christmas. I love decorating for Christmas. This is too fucking much.
Over the top. Okay.
If you are stealing public property to light your fucking house, you have made a mistake.
A drastic one.
Big mistake. Same way Deck the Halls. I always feel to watch that. I'm like, too much. Too much.
Seen it once.
Too many wires. Too many bulbs.
Says the guy who loves Christmas family vacation.
Okay. But that, it was an achievement. And then he was done.
Betty Lou, who was trying to achieve too.
I didn't say Betty Lou. Also, Clark Griswold didn't steal a fucking traffic light.
Sure as hell he blinded his neighbors.
Which was hilarious.
It was.
Why is the floor all wet, Todd?
We already talked about this. Let's keep going.
I don't know, Margot. I'm sorry, I cannot talk about that. Why I didn't know that was Molly Shannon? Love Molly Shannon.
The makeup was done really well.
It really was. Like the Who makeup with the noses and stuff. It looks uncomfortable, but like it's even the clothing and stuff. Like there's a cop who's like sash is donuts.
I think that was just for the who's Hooveration or whatever it is.
Jubilation.
That's it. Because if you noticed, everybody was all decked out weird for Hooveration.
Yes, because Cindy Lou Who's family is wearing like paper plates with shit on them.
Yeah, no, it's like I think she's got like a poncho, and all the ponchos have plates with silverware, and it's like, oh, they're a dining room table. Cool.
Why? The fuck does that have to do with anything? The donut police thing is kind of funny.
It's a good little nod to like, hey, thanks. I'm just kidding.
But it's not too much because it's not a fat cop.
Yeah.
It's a thin cop. It's a thin cop. So it's like kind of funny because it's like not this what you would think.
Right. Well, there's only like 2 cops in this town.
Who are terrible at their fucking jobs. Because later, some shit goes down and none of them show up.
Everybody knows what goes down.
I'm trying to not get ahead of myself. So the Grinch does all that, and he calls Betty Lou, and Lou, he's like, is your refrigerator running?
Well, he's like, all you hear is like, and then Stu goes,
what
is my Hooverator, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't even know. It's like,
yeah.
my Hooverator 5000 running? Well, I think so.
Well, y'all better go catch it. Ah! Hangs up. Only did he have to do all that shit in town, but he has to go call somebody, say a really bad joke, but then just laugh hysterically and run off.
At himself.
Yeah. Then he goes, and it's a trash shoot.
And it's direct connect to his house.
Yeah, because everybody's trash ends up hit with him. But he's like shooting down it. He's like, oh, we should have invested in another way of travel. And he shoots out. He's like, a car would have paid for itself by now. Like Max is fine. He's just sliding around. And he's always bouncing. Grinch is always bouncing everywhere. He's like,
sliding upside down, spinning.
And then we get the classic "Where Are You, Christmas," which again, not in the cartoon, not in the book, just in this movie.
This was Mariah Carey wrote it and Faith Hill performed it. So this is a Mariah Carey original song.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Mariah Carey wrote that song.
Yeah, well, Taylor Momsen was way too young at the time.
She rocked.
Can you imagine if she did like now that she's
so Taylor Momsen is a lead singer of a rock band, and it's
called The Pretty Reckless.
Really good rock band too.
So can you imagine if they did like a hard rock cover of "Where Are You, Christmas"? Taylor Momsen, does anyone know her? Just tell her, just for me and DJ, make a cover of the song from your movie. I don't think that would be too hard to get to do. So
That shit's
please,
pretty simple.
actually, anything you can do a cover of legally.
Yeah.
So please do this.
Oh, me.
And me. Because really, her voice is amazing.
She is a really good singer, and she did sing it in she did sing it in the show, the movie. Whenever she was
Right.
singing it, but whenever you hear it in the background of the soundtrack,
It's yeah. But still, like, and who'd have thought that this little girl would become a rock star?
Yeah.
So kind of fun there. But anyway, back to the movie at hand. She does that whole song, and it's kind of this thing of like, really, where is the meaning of Christmas? Is what she's kind of saying, because she didn't really see it. Everyone's so caught up in things. You know what I'm saying? Then the Grinch goes back home and he's relaxing, and he goes to his answering machine, and it's like,
He's
you know,
on
the exact.
no voicemails, or he's got no voice messages here.
Well,
He's
like his,
better check the outgoing.
yeah, and it's like,
if you leave one syllable,
if you so much as utter one syllable, I will hunt you down and gut you like a fish. It's like, for leave a message for Starkey. And he's like, no messages.
It seems fine to me.
And then he goes, he lays in a chair like a recliner, and he takes a beer bottle and bites into it.
It's like his lunch.
It's like drinking a beer when you get home, but it's like
He's
eating a glass bottle. He's like, oh, excellent year. It's like, there's some fun shit. Yeah, he's disgusting, but you still like him.
He's humorous.
And then he's like sitting in the chair, and he does this very classic thing where he goes, hello, 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 hello.
Well, it's hello. And he goes, how are you?
How are you?
I'm fine.
I am fine. He's like, stop copying me.
Stop copying me.
Stop
That's
copying.
very mature.
That's very mature.
Saying the same thing back I say to you, and all that, and just having an argument with himself.
Yeah. He's like, all right, bye. Or he goes,
you're an idiot.
You're an idiot.
No, he goes, I'm an idiot. Sorry. He goes, I'm an idiot. And he comes back, you're an idiot.
I think he goes, you're an idiot.
No, I'm an idiot.
I'm an idiot.
So it comes back and says, I'm an idiot. And then but it comes back and it changes to you're an idiot.
Yeah. And then he goes, fine. I will whisper. By the time the sound pounds on walls comes back, I will be able to hear it. You're an idiot. He does that thing where he's like,
That's like a little great one-liners in this.
It's
not even one-liner.
He's just so like, he's not like shocked that happened. He's just like, how dare you? Like,
maybe you're not alone. Creepy. Maybe Max.
Maybe he has a brother. The Grinch.
The Grinchmas.
How the Grinch stole Christmas.
How the Grinch killed the Grinch.
Oh God.
We went there.
You went there technically. And so Cindy sets out. She wants to find out, like, why does the Grinch hate Christmas? What happened? Instead of being like everybody else, is like, oh, the Grinch hates Christmas. That's terrible. Now on to the shopping season. She's like,
the mayor's a dick.
Yeah, but she's just like, why? So she goes to these two ladies who raised the Grinch.
And Carolyn and Rose, I think are their names. I know Rose is one of them.
They're old.
Yeah, they're old.
Because basically how they explain it, because this is kind of, we'll get to it in a second. There are some adult jokes in this movie.
There's quite a bit of adult jokes. Clarnella, sorry. That's a Clarnella.
Because they say the babies come in, they get blown in these umbrellas, kind of like storks, but without the birds.
Yeah.
How they're flown in.
Delivered.
Yeah.
And then the one falls up, and the guy's like, "Hey, our baby's here."
Kind of looks like
your boss.
Which is like, she's fucking her boss.
Okay, yeah, I got you there.
Yeah, but it's like, this is a kid's movie.
Like as a kid,
but like, I love it because you would never pick that up. Like, why would
you catch the party?
Yes, because they're putting the keys in it. That's a swinger party. I thought the scene. I wrote that down. I'm like, oh shit! I never noticed that before.
You've never noticed that before? I noticed that when I was like 12. I was like, why are they picking keys?
Well, no, I've always asked them, like, why are there keys? I thought, oh, they're drunk. So
no, I figured it out a while.
Now I looked at down there. I'm like, this is a fucking swinger party.
Auntie's getting freaky.
Clearly, but yeah. So the Grinch kind of falls on their doorstep. And they're like, all right, we'll
Well, he
take
falls
care
in the
of it.
tree outside.
Because his luck.
Yeah.
He's very clumsy. And they're like, all right, we'll raise him. We got this. And it kind of goes through his beginnings. Like he's a baby. And like, you want a Christmas cookie? And he's like, Santa. And they're like, oh, if you want to hold the Santa plate. And he bites into it. He's like, Santa, bye-bye.
So it's kind of showing like he hated Christmas from the get-go.
Yeah, he was more, and like he cuts to him in school and he's drawing a picture of like Santa's sleigh getting shot down. It's like he's mischievous.
Yeah.
He doesn't hate Christmas. He's just very mischievous, as a young child would be, especially an orphan, essentially.
Okay, makes sense.
I mean, that's how I
I'll
take
go
it.
with it.
Yeah, like I was a dickish child, and I had both parents, but I was an asshole child for no reason. I now love things, so it's like I loved Christmas even as a kid, so it's like kind of give and take. But it shows him in school, and he loves Martha May, who we know is with the mayor. And the mayor, as a kid,
I don't think she's with the mayor. I think the mayor's
They're
just kinda
dating.
stalking her.
No, they're dating. And so, well, she's like, I didn't really acknowledge I was too busy with my studying. And she's licking a goddamn lollipop, just staring at him. I was like, there's another fucking adult joke in there. She's like, oh, I was just focused on my studies. And immediately cuts to like
That's
slut.
actually addressed because it's like Jim Carrey was said that all his jokes were age appropriate, and he found out that Ron Howard actually had to take out a bunch of raunchy jokes, but they were forced to leave some in because of the studio. The studio made them leave some of the raunchy jokes in.
I mean, I don't mind it. I
don't
think
either.
it's fun.
I think it's hilarious
because the kids,
because when you take a kid to see this, they're like, oh,
they're not
that's
going to pick
fun.
that out.
Yeah, they're not
It's
picking that
not
out.
like where it's like, oh, they're fucking, and the kid's like, what's going on?
I like kid movies that have adult humor like that.
And it's
'cause then
subtle.
It's like
It's very subtle.
the kids are like, I like, oh yeah, that's funny, but they don't get it, and I'm over here laughing my ass off.
Because we get it.
And then
later, as they get older, they're like, holy shit, that's in there. Just like I was with the fucking keys. And I was like, they're swingers. And it's the same thing with like Animaniacs with the whole fingerprints thing. And I'm like, holy shit, that was in a thing I watched. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like
always.
I'm proud of that shit. Because
I
again,
like it.
I completely, as a kid, you shouldn't be conditioned to know what the fuck that shit is. If your kids really having problems knowing what that shit is, maybe you're being a shitty parent. Because I shouldn't have known what a swinger party was when I watched this movie. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, you get a lot of parents like that will probably watch this movie and they're like, this is terrible. You can't have these jokes in front of children. It's like,
That nowadays you will. Back then it's all good.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
but you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure there is that. I don't really talk to people like that on a general basis, so I don't really get that kind of conversation. But my argument is just, fucking, just like you have children, you monitor what they watch. If they're seeing something they shouldn't see, you make sure they're not in the room.
Go upstairs.
Yes. Or you turn it on.
Daddy's watching The Predator. Go upstairs.
You did this earlier today. You're like, Aiden, you should be watching The Predator. And that was it. Holy shit, the kid didn't see anything because you.
Oh, no, he did. He kept peeking around down the stairs. I'm like, I see you.
Which, at least it's a horror film or something. But still, prime example. If you don't want to see something, you make sure it doesn't happen. Most of these parents are like, I left my kid alone for 3 days and he watched hardcore porn. And you're
One of my favorites was when Deadpool, the first Deadpool came out, and parents lost their shit. It was like, oh, it's a superhero movie. Let's take my kid to see it. It's rated R, you idiots.
It's rated R.
Sorry.
And you should do your... I say this all the time. Because I got in a huge argument with a relative who I will not name over break because they bought a video game system without knowing it. You had to go online to download shit for it. And I was like,
Yeah.
Like with anything you buy or consume or take your children to see, fucking Google it. If you don't know what it is, the internet will tell you what it is. moments. It's not like the days you had to go to a fucking lie down a book and then it's all at your disposal. Just fucking look at it.
It's not hard.
No.
Actually, it is.
Yes, it's that. That's that easy. And that is what I get aggressively mad about that
I can
because
tell.
it's like just fucking do your job and type in a search bar.
Who's from?
So the Grinch.
The Grinch.
This is like half political debate now.
No, we don't
but-
do politics.
Well, it's not politics. It's more like
I get it.
personal. I don't give a shit about politics. But yeah, so he loves Martha, and she's kind of whorish.
No, she is a slut. She is a slut.
And even she kind of jokes it.
She
But
does. She's a
basically,
tease.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
a tease, big time.
And the mayor, he's like, "Oh, I took him under my wing," and he's like, immediately cuts to him being a dick.
God, dick.
Did you and Uncle Frank from Home Alone go to the same school of douchebagness?
So.
Really? Because he's like, she won't go out with you. You're 8 years old.
You have a beard. He doesn't have a beard. He has
Also-
sideburns.
also-
barely.
When I was in elementary school, one kid had a beard. That was the coolest fucking kid ever because you had a beard when no one else did.
You had in elementary school. Somebody had a beard.
4th grade,
Somebody had a beard.
full beard.
Dude, I'm jealous.
Mad
You know how
respect,
long
right?
You know how long it took me to grow in a freaking beard?
Mad respect, right?
Mad respect.
So why the fuck are you on this kid? Clearly, he's got some things.
I am jealous.
Yes,
I wish I could have had a beard.
because then you get it before anybody.
All I had was the chin for the longest time.
No,
A
he had
little-
like
a
full.
little crustache.
He had like full connected beard.
Bastard.
4th grade.
Man, he was on some steroids.
No, he's a chubby kid. I was like, he might be watching. I'm friends with this guy. He works at Honda.
Discuss later.
We will. Anyway, the Grinch, he's like, you know what? We have to buy presents for people. I'm gonna woo Martha Mayhew. And he goes home and he
Takes everything in the house that he can find that would be shiny or pretty.
ship is a
Gold
bless.
in his house. All that.
That's true. He took junk and made
Yeah.
it into stuff.
So he is an architect or engineer, by the way.
He made a sleigh too. So yeah, someone should hire the damn Grinch to do their shit. He does it quite well.
He does a good job.
But like, and this is a pretty angel. Like
Yeah.
he like mashes like colored glass and shit, glues it all on there, and looks great.
It actually looks very good for an 8-year-old.
And then he decides to let all the talk get to him, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna shave."
But she had nothing to shave.
He didn't have a beard. He has like hair all over his body,
This. He had sideburns.
and he has like everywhere. He's
Yeah,
hairy.
but I mean,
It's what he is. No. And they're like, all right, has everybody get their presents? It's like, I haven't given my present yet. And he steps out from these coat racks. And he's got a
he's got
bag
a
over his
That
head.
reminds me of Fairly Odd Parents.
No.
That's what it reminds me of every time I see it. Fairly
With
Odd
Chester's
Parents.
dad's got the
Chester's
bag
dad.
over his head.
Yeah. I don't know. Just every time I see it. it's all I
And
think
she's
about.
like, well, oh, he sits down and he puts the boot
Well, he's like, take your bag off. And he goes, okay. And he has the book up.
book up.
Takes
so we
the
put
bag
the
off.
book
She's
down.
like, put the book down.
His feet are up.
His foot's up. She goes, and move your foot. So it was his foot. And he's got, like when you.
Like when you nick yourself, you put a
Which-
little piece of toilet paper on there.
I don't shave that often. Can't tell.
I do.
I haven't shaved in a long time, but when I did shave, because I had my old job, I had to shave. I never, if I cut myself shaving, I never stuck toilet paper on it and just let it sit there. So is that?
No, I
is
didn't. I
that
didn't
a
either. I
thing?
cleaned it up.
Like
and
it's
then-
like I dabbled and then
And then just
literally
let it
for
go.
like 10 seconds and then it's done. And it's like I don't know, but I've never had the thing where it's just dropping, leaving toilet paper. I never got that, but okay,
Yeah.
that's different.
And so we'll finish this little scene, then we'll take our little 10-minute break and we'll go back to finish this out. So everyone's like bagging on him. Not Martha, mostly the mayor.
It's the mayor. It's not mostly the mayor. It's the mayor because mayor is the bully. He's picking on motherfuckers.
He's like, what a hack job.
Like seriously, if everybody would like, if the mayor would have left him alone, I think he would have been all right because everybody else was only laughing at him because of the mayor.
Mm-hmm. He's like, what a hack job. Fuck you. You made him shave. You knew what you did. And everybody laughed. And so he gets agreeably pissed. Picks up the tree.
Launches it.
He's like, I hate Christmas.
And everybody, like, they're flashing back and forward, and everybody's like, he was. What did the mayor say?
Like he was a brute, or
so the anger and the it was like the anger and the violence, and then it flushed to Martha May. Like the muscle.
And that's why the Grinch hates Christmas, which is an agreeable backstory for this.
He hates
the Who's.
In my eyes, he hates Christmas because of what happened on Christmas, which I understand.
Yeah, he mostly hates the mayor.
Yeah,
which we get.
I would hate everybody else because everybody else,
laughed at him
too. But it all goes back to that. It's people are assholes.
All right, guys, we're gonna take our little podcasting break and give you something a little different. We are not sponsored by this, but I thought this was really fucking cool. I have not tried this yet. They re-released Reptar bars. These are the Reptar on ice bars. At FYE.
Your tongue
blue. So I figured we go ahead and try this out.
Chocolate. You can't go wrong with chocolate.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with chocolate. And it's fucking Rugrats. It's Reptar. I'm excited to try this. You just went for it. You just went for it. You cheers or not.
I wonder what the blue stuff is, if it's chocolate or not.
Are you Googling it?
No. I'm looking up IMDb facts while I'm eating chocolate. The chocolate's not as good as Hershey's, but
yeah, we can keep going over the movie. That really is what my tongue's already turning blue. In the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was gonna be minty. I'm glad it's not.
Me too.
Chocolate. One person who just tuned in to watch, like, why the fuck are you eating chocolate? This is from my childhood. Leave me alone.
Reptar, man.
Fucking Reptar.
Sure about that hat.
We're gonna rock it.
Okay.
All right, break over. Back to what we were talking about. No, got it stuck to my mouth. The blue is stuck to my mouth. Looks like I got really up close and personal with the Smurf.
I knew that joke was going to come out sometime. Much like the Smurf pants.
Very nice. So back to the plot. He's got a phone book. And he's going through people's names. You want to feel this one because you quote it better.
So is the whatever his name's like something stupid who I hate you. Hate. Loathe entirely. I love that. I love this. I love Jim Carrey. So, but I love the persona of it. This is fucking great.
And then they cut to the town and they're like, all right, we're going to do our thing where we nominate our holiday cheermeister. And the mayor's
well, I like it because you got a Cindy Lou who's like talking to her dad, and she's all like, "Dad, we're going to the jubilation. I think I might do something drastic." And he's like, "All right, honey, ask your mom."
Classic dad line.
Like, doesn't, and that's when the mom steals the freaking traffic light and kills people. But that's beside the point. And then she's all like, I don't even think she asked her mom. He's like, all right, fuck it, I'll do it.
Yeah. But no, this is like, I've been thinking about doing something drastic. That's fine. That won't affect us ever.
No questions asked.
And so they're like, all right, who wants to be the holiday cheermeister? And then the mayor's dick-sucking assistant. Like, this guy, I think he is in love with the mayor because like there's just some things that happen later that insinuates that he is in love with this guy. Yeah, that and the whole like when he proposes, he's like, "Whoa!" Anyway, he does that. He's like, "I nominated the person who has the most holiday cheer. It's our mayor," and everyone's like, "Whoa, okay, okay. We all go with what happens because we're extras and we don't get lines."
Yeah. Nobody else, like, I feel like somebody else is out there.
Nope.
Nominate somebody.
Nope. No one.
Just nobody. All right, the mayor's got it.
And then out of nowhere, you hear, "I nominate the Grinch." And everyone's like, "The fuck said that?" And look around. Yeah, it parts, and it's just a little girl with her funny hair in the middle.
Her hair is like tripping the entire time.
Isn't it like wrapped around her present?
I think so. In that time, yeah.
It must have hurt your head after a while.
I'm sure it was fake. It was probably just a wig they threw on top of her head.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Because it's actual hair. That'd give you a headache. Kind of braided like that.
Ooh. I mean, I don't know. I don't have that much hair.
I don't either, but I assume.
You assume
anything I don't understand, I just assume would suck, just because I don't want to have to try it myself. I'm just gonna assume that's a terrible idea. And they're like, "Well, you can't nominate the Grinch." And she's like, "Why?"
Not?
She's like, "Well, according to the thing,
they start quoting the Who book or
the book of Who, the Hooble, the Bible of Who,
the book of Who,
the book of Who." Nah, it's the Hooble. I know it's not, but I just want to fuck with you about it.
and then she quotes it, and then he quotes it.
Well,
and then she quotes it,
and he's like, "Well, it says right here."
He makes something
because it always rhymes because it's Dr. Seuss.
So that's why.
And he goes,
"Well, he can't nominate the Grinch because something happens and it comes in a cinch."
And she's like, "That's
where does it say that? Where does it? What page?"
Where she goes, "Where does it say?" He's like, "Right here." She's like, "What page?" He's like, "Well, I don't know, but we just can't nominate the Grinch." She's like, "Well, we should all be fair." And
then she quotes the book of Who again, and then you win.
And then she goes, she has that thing where she turns to the audience and she's like, "If you're all the Who's that I think you are, you'll agree with me and do this thing I want to do." And they're all like, "Well, we don't have any fucking lines." So
it's like, all right, I'm just getting schooled by a 12-year-old, so I'm just going to go with it.
Yeah. Well, because the crowd's turning. They're like, "Yeah, that girl.
That 12-year-old knows more than you, Mayor."
And never in my life have I been like, "I agree with the 12-year-old. They should totally just." Yeah. She's fucking Moses that's getting up like, "I'll guide you the way." And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, little girl Moses."
Parts the Mount Crumpet.
So they're like, "Fine." The mayor's like, "All right, if you get the Grinch to come here, he can be the cheermeister.
But if not, it's the runner-up." Which, who decided he's the runner-up?
Because nobody else volunteered. Everybody else is just okay with whatever. And those friends that when you're like, "Hey, what do you want to do?" Like, "Well,
I don't know what do you want to do."
It's like you when you're like,
it's like, John, "I don't know what do you want to do."
Yeah, but it's like with you, where it's like, "Where do you want to eat?" And we just drive through town for a while. That's exactly what this whole town is. This whole town is that.
That's true.
Where they're like, "No, what do you want to do?" And the mayor's like, "I would like to be that." And they're like, "Sure." That's his whole town. That's his whole town. Probably why he's the mayor.
I would love to be the mayor.
That's probably why he's the mayor. He's like, "I want to be mayor." You're like, "Yeah,
you got
that
it,
sounds
dude.
like you. Yeah, you do that. You do that mayor shit.
Like, I want you guys to buy me a car. Whatever you say.
We'll get right on that." Like, all right,
this is great.
I am aboard of everybody. Okay. Like, but she goes to the Grinch's the Mount.
Yeah, because at the time they're kind of singing and dancing, I think, right? And then he's trying to drown him out with the boom.
Well, he's trying to sleep, and then he starts singing in his sleep a little bit. He's like,
the crowd singing, and like he's singing with them.
Yes. He's like, and he's like, "It's so loud." He's putting like nails and blenders, and he's like starting up all these blenders, trying to make more noise. He's got the monkey with the cymbal. He's got a jackhammer.
He's in the jackhammer, and then he takes the money that has the cymbals, and he's getting head smashed.
Well, she goes to knock, and you hear, "Ow!" And that's when he goes to the cymbals and starts smashing his head into it because he fell off the jackhammer. And she's like, "Hello," and she crawls through Max's dog door, which is huge. Max is not a large dog.
Max is an itty bitty fella.
And that's a huge dog door.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, how was he going to get a 12-year-old girl through this door without having her picking the lock, which would really go against the spirit of Christmas if she just took a fucking screwdriver and a bobby pin?
I think they throw Spirit of Christmas out the window when the Grinch steals everybody's presents.
Yeah, but then at the end they bring it back. Did you watch the rest of the movie?
No, because my favorite part is when the Grinch steals it.
So she crawls in and he's getting the head in the monkey smash. And she's like, hey, I mean, this isn't quoting, but she's like, hey, we want you to be the holiday cheermeister. He's like, really? No.
Basically keeps on rejecting her until she says something about an award.
She's like, well, you get the award. And he's like, award? You didn't say anything about an award.
That means there's a loser?
He's like, oh, what were the looks on their faces? Were they devastated? Well, the mayor kind of was. Oh, delightful.
He's happy he pissed off the mayor, basically.
And she's like, oh, yeah, sure. He's like, Martha will be there. He's like, oh, really? He's like, he goes, I can finally tell her the G train has left the station. That's lovely. And he goes, this is finally going to be the thing that makes me see the error of my ways and the spirit of Christmas. She's like, really? He's like, no.
No.
He pulls the lever and she
door.
falls to the trap door. I'm like, ah, lovely. He's like, good girl. That's just a character. And he's like, I don't even know if he's doing this thing where he wants to go. Like in the back of his mind, he really wants to go, but he won't let his pride is holding him back to not go. So he's like, oh, my schedule's so full. I've got to self-pity, eat dinner with myself. Can't reschedule that again.
Improv line, too.
Of just what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Stare
No,
into
just
the
that
abyss.
part. Just that part, like having dinner with himself. And he's
Can't-
like, I
can't
can't cancel that again.
He goes, stare into the abyss, self-loathing. And he goes over this thing. He's like, well, that's it. I'm just completely booked. Just can't do it. I should probably go. What will I wear?
So he goes over to the table and he's got the little tablecloth and he rips it off. And it was supposed to literally knock, like in
As
script,
it would be
it
expected
was
to happen.
supposed to rip off and everything on the table was supposed to fall off.
Yeah.
As the Grinch, and he goes back and truffles it over, which actually, in my eyes,
It's so
it made it much more better.
Because it's like
he's like enjoys the destruction of everything.
and when it doesn't happen, he's like, ah, damn it.
So like that played out perfectly.
And that's probably just Jim Carrey being frustrated. Like,
Yeah,
he's
he's
fuck
like-
this shit.
So I almost wonder if like Jim Carrey really was pissed. And he's like, damn it, starts going over there and messing it up. And Ron's like, all right, fuck it, let's go, run, keep rolling.
Well, Ron Howard's a really masterful director. I think he's probably my top 10. So it's like when shit happens, instead of like cutting, like, whoa, what's happening? He'd be like, let's hold. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
He's always like open to interpretation.
Keeps
And
it
like sometimes
rolling.
that's the thing that makes the best character choice. It's like him coming back and wrecking it is just such a testament to the Grinch's character.
Yeah.
Even though it was not on purpose.
Which like I said, it made in my eyes, it just kind of made that scene
It's that much better.
Just that much better.
Yes. And so he lets the robe around and
And Max is barking, and apparently Max and Grinch
they
communicate well
communicate. Which
with each
again,
other.
in this world, okay.
Well, Grinch is also not who, and
Yeah.
apparently, whatever Grinch is,
He speaks dog.
speaks dog. So Max barks, and he goes, "It's not a dress; it's a kilt." No, that's most certainly a dress.
And well, then he rips off, and he's got the woman's
the
garter
garters.
there, and I was like, that's great. And then he comes back with like a lederhosen, and he's like, ooh, oh, that's it. I'm not going. He walks off, but he stays in it the whole time, and so he's like, he's doing that back and forth, like, I don't know if I'm gonna do, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I'm going. I'm not going. I'm not going. I'm going. I'm going. I'm not going.
And then he's standing over by the thing. And he's like, I should probably go. Nope, I'm not. That's it. I'm going. I can't. And Max just pulls the lever and he falls through. And
He's like, we should probably flip a coin.
"Coin!"
Which supposedly he improv that,
And we should probably flip a coin.
and he did it in reference to Batman Returns,
Oh.
or not Batman Returns. Sorry,
Batman Forever?
Wrong Batman. Terrible Batman. Well, actually, no, that one wasn't terrible.
Batman
Batman
Returns?
and Robin was terrible.
Yes, that one's terrible. People shit on Batman Forever. I'm like, I enjoy it.
I enjoy it because of Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey.
He goes,
That's all I'm
damn
saying.
it, I
on
can't
that.
afford for the side
We're
conversation.
not going to go into the Batman conversation. We'll get there.
It's just like triggering something in you.
It
You're like,
is.
I want to do this, but we don't have time for this.
Can't do it. Right. We'll do it later.
Well, eventually, and let us know, those of you watching, and we'll watch this throughout the week. Do you want? We are thinking about doing this, but we want to know how much interest there is in watching this. We're going to do a live stream with multiple guests and talk about how we would cast the DC cinematic universe.
Because DC's terrible. Marvel
Because
is great.
Besides Aquaman and Wonder Woman, they have had bad movies for consistency. So, like, how would we cast it? I would have my own opinions. DJ would have his own opinions. Our guests would have their own opinions. And we'll together compile official how we would cast the whole DCU in
Not
parts.
the whole.
Well, yeah, like
the vast
we
majority.
can't get 100 people.
The Justice League. The main
Teen
villains.
Titans, and the villains. And like we can do a part 2, a part 3, or whatever.
Yeah.
But we'll start with like the core, like just like with Marvel, the Avengers assembling, and then build around it. Sorry, I didn't mean to bump you. Sorry. If you're interested in that and you want to see that, comment, get in touch with me on Instagram, Facebook, you comments, whatever. Let us know. And if there's a video that you would like to see,
let us know.
And we'll try to be more focused on those videos. Let us know. I do reviews of normal movies. They'll be coming out on the channel as well. It's just me talking about movies. DJ might have his own content. I also am going to be part of a gaming channel this year called Old Ass Games. There's a lot coming out this year. So if there's things you as the audience want to see, especially from Film Vomit, let us know. There's a good chance we'll get to it. Back to the Grinch. I can't help it. Tangents. All because of a fucking Batman.
Yeah,
reference.
so that was supposedly a reference to Batman Forever, Two-Face, and Riddler.
And this is actually one of my favorite scenes we're coming up on here. So the mayor's like, well, the Grinch hasn't showed up. That's not a surprise at all. And we get this cool spin transition, too, where it's like Grinch spinning in the thing.
Yeah.
And we spin to Cindy, who's like listening to the mayor. And she does not. And through the garbage chute, bounces off a sign, bounces off
the drum, and then into the sign.
Drum, sign.
And into Martha May's boobies.
And he's like, well, hello, Martha.
Martha May, show me her boobies, and I like them too. Sorry.
We just said we weren't going to go on a tangent. And here you go. But yeah. And again, that's a pretty adult thing.
That is an adult.
And more of a thing that a kid.
I laughed my ass off as a kid at that, though.
But it's like
he fell in it. Like that, to me, that was funny as a kid. It was like, haha, he fell in her boobies.
And
a very immature child I was.
And he's like, well, I'm here to get my award. I'm like, well, before
my award and the check.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure somebody said something about a check. And she's like, no, I didn't.
She's like, I didn't say about a check. He's like, I'm pretty sure you did. He's like really trying to milk a check. And like, well, we want you to be reintroduced to your family.
And it's
the old ass
swingers. And Rose come out, the swinger couple, the swinger lesbian couple.
I don't even know. Who the fuck cares? We don't need that side story.
Well, I'm just saying, we didn't touch on that.
They pull him down.
Pretty sure they're lesbians.
And there's like clothes flying everywhere because they put him in this Christmas sweater, which is like lighting up and shit. He's like, wow.
I love Xmas.
He's like, what are you doing? Get your finger out of there. He says that.
Yeah, he does. Which I'm like, oh.
And like, that's a thing you don't catch.
Yeah, and like as a kid, I'm like, what finger where?
And now you're like,
and now I'm like,
oh,
finger.
And then after the whole key thing, it really makes sense. And it's funny because when he first sees them, he goes, are you two still living?
Still alive? Which they're old as dirt.
Yeah.
Because they were older when they
were like, all right, let's get ready for the chair. Cheers. Like, chair. You didn't say anything about chair. They throw him up in his chair. He's like, wow, where are you going? Put me down. And like, it's time for the pudding cook-off. And they're shoving pudding in his mouth.
Well, they got the Albert Einstein who.
He's like,
he looks like Albert Einstein.
This isn't pudding.
This isn't pudding. And he's like, well, what is it? He's got like some radioactive glow and shit going in his mouth.
And then he just shoving more pudding on top of it. He's like, what is it? And he never gets an answer. We never get an answer. And then it's a conga line. He's like, wow, stop. Fine.
Look at the time.
And
the potato sack race.
No, then it's a fruitcake contest. So they're shoving fruitcake in his mouth. And he's like, oh, and he's getting like full. And he doesn't want it anymore. And then they're like, it's a fudge cook-off. He's like, come on, is that all you got? They're just shoving more in his mouth. Like, bring it on. That's all you got.
And then they show him out on the chair, cheer.
And he's about to throw up.
He looks like he's about to die.
That's a sack race, and it's going slow mo. He's about to win.
It's that typical.
Dun, 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 dun. And he's happy.
And he shoves a kid down.
Yeah, he shoves a kid down. And this is what he's into. He's got the hat on with the mistletoe. He's like, yes!
It's like, all right, the Grinch is a Christmas man now.
Yes. And it's almost like, did we completely bypass? Like, if you're first watching this, like, did we completely skip over the stealing Christmas part? Not necessarily. There's some shit that happens in a second, kiddos. Just wait a minute.
Good, sure.
Just like normal life, depressing shit will happen very soon.
Don't get your hopes up for the joy.
And they're like, it's time to give out presents. And they're like, yay! Commercialism.
First, the Cheermeister.
Yep. And so he hands them a box, which is fucking clippers. Someone punched this mayor in the face.
So why? And everybody's laughing. I'm like, dude, you just like got the Grinch and like you're gonna fucking run his life so I'm happy.
Lord, you all and it acted like you had so much regret, and then did the same fucking thing.
And nobody stands up for
No,
it because they're all afraid.
Except for a 12-year-old girl who no one will listen to.
Shame. Sad world we live in.
Yeah. And so, of course, he is pissed. And he starts talking about how, like, you all care about your fucking...
You skipped the big part, bub.
What?
Getting engaged.
Oh, yeah, right.
He proposes to Martha May.
He gives them the shavers. I accidentally wrote it down here. Gives them the shavers, and he proposes to Martha as if, like, an extra, like, fuck off, buddy. This is my town.
Yeah, like, he proposes
and
to Martha
this
May.
ring is, like...
gaudy.
It's a big-ass ring with, like, 3 stones. It's a fucking, like, infinity gauntlet.
Ring.
I know you're going to say gaudy again. I get it. I'm just trying to describe to those who may not know what the fuck that is. Okay? It's ridiculous.
Gaudy.
Okay. And then again, the mayor's assistant's like, whoa! He made that fucking noise. A whoa noise. When he pulled out the ring box.
Oh.
Like a shock. Like, whoa! I'll do it a couple more times if you need it.
No, I'm good.
As a reference.
No, thanks. Yeah, I've got it.
It's the dumbest fucking noise.
Well, then he's like, my friend.
It's just, it's on par with Halloween.
This is the first part. This is the first time I caught it. He's like, and then we got a car that was paid for with taxpayers' dollars.
By the taxpayers of Uno.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
and I was like,
you ass. And they're all just like, yeah. Like, fuck off,
oh, what a dick.
right. Like, if I would put me in Who makeup and put me back here, like, excuse me.
Oh, beat a bitch, man.
You mean say, is that why the taxes went up this year, you motherfucker?
Son of a bitch. And then at that point, that's when the Grinch finally loses his shit and just
talks about commercialism first.
Scratches the fuck out of the car.
Which
then talks
I didn't know
about
he had nails.
Well, he does something. He cuts the glass out or something.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the first time he does it.
I know. I'm saying it's like it's weird that he has nails
under his
hair. And he's like, "Fuck again." Back to the fuck Christmas. Fuck all you. Takes the guys. I'm assuming liquor.
Yeah, it was. That is Rance Howard. No, that is
Clint.
That is Rance Howard.
Rance.
That is Rance.
He's like, "Yeah, that's my good stuff." And he swigs it, blow torches the tree, which goes up. And it's cool because it goes up
and it like spirals.
And then when the flame goes out, it crumples down. So it's like we see this like at and then down and then like a star. I'm like, that's really cool. This way they put that all together. It was an interesting choice.
Which in the end, it doesn't even matter. It's like, all right, bring out the backup tree.
Yeah, good thing we have a spare. Where the fuck was it? It's fully decorated?
It was. They just brought it out. It's like in saran wrap.
Who decorates a spare tree?
The Who's. That's
Like-
who. That's
like,
who
no.
decorates it. You
No.
just answered your own question. Or was that a statement?
I fucking hate you right now. I have distaste. Don't do mind blow. Asshole. I got it flip. Yeah. He takes a really small car. He goes, y'all might want to move over, and they're like running out because his butt's coming down. And he's like driving his little car, and he hits a lighting post. He's like, oh god, and he's running away. He's like,
Blows up and he does
blows
the
up.
jump.
And it's funny because your wife was like, do you guys always watch movies where a car explodes? Because all the Halloween movies we covered that happened. I was like, hey, none of the Home Alones had that. Or Christmas Vacation. Christmas Vacation had explosions, though. Not a car, but it had explosions. Home Alone, did it have an explosion? Had fire, didn't have an explosion.
I guess there was the one explosion in the second one.
There's fireworks.
In the second one, there was an explosion when he dumped his head in the
Oh,
back of the
yeah.
toilet.
We can't escape explosions. That's kind of a pretty broad thing in movies. Home Alone quotes have been rampant in the time that I've been over here today. It's just been like left and right. It's hard not to, but we're not going to because we're not going to stop. Car blows up. Oh, and he shaved half like down the mayor's head.
Straight down the mayor.
He's like, yeah, I forgot one thing, mistletoe, and he's like putting it over his butt. He's like, kiss it, Whoville. And he shaves the mayor's head. Then the mayor's kiss-ass assistant shaves his head in the same fashion. And the mayor blames Cindy for this. She's like, well, Lou, I hate to say it, but I'm really upset right now. Like, this is your fault that this happened.
All right, Uncle Frank.
Pretty much. Yeah, you little jerk. You better not ruin this. Your dad paid good money for this vacation. Same concept.
Basically.
Same concept. And then we get the rhyme where he's talking about the toys. He's like Tankers and Teen Tuckers, and
I think this is one of the only points that rhymes on purpose.
Yeah, because it's quote from quote what's in the cartoon and the book.
The rest of the time of the movie, I believe, if I remember reading correctly, I can't remember.
But he doesn't rhyme because that's a Who thing. He doesn't like to be like the Who.
He tries not to rhyme.
Yes.
And this is the
But
only
in
time
this
he's
one he
rhyming.
does. But at the end he goes, I'm rhyming. And he decides like, we're in typical, we have reached what, this is very similar to the cartoon. He's like, but he's talking more because in the cartoon it's the narrator. But he's like,
Side note, we didn't talk about the narrator for this movie.
Isn't it Anthony Hopkins?
Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Beautiful narration, which in the cartoon is Boris Karloff. So both are just.
Well, Boris Karloff, they both had serial killer roles.
Frankenstein
and
Hannibal Lecter. Boris Karloff actually had more than just Frankenstein.
Yeah.
He was the original Mummy.
I can't remember what else it was said that it was a serial killer or like a killer.
Yeah, but Boris Karloff was the shit. But anyway, like both iconic narrators, but Anthony Hopkins, his voice is it's very soothing.
It is. He's basically the white version of Morgan Freeman.
The English version.
We'll go with that. Sounds a little less racist.
Is Alfred Hitchcock in the movie Hitchcock?
No.
Brilliant. Blends, and you can't tell the difference between if you're watching footage of Hitchcock or Anthony Hopkins playing Hitchcock. It blends together so perfectly. On to the plot. We get to the standard how the Grinch Stole Christmas plot, where he makes the Santa suit, but we get little jokes in there, like he actually sews his fingers into it, and he's like trying to shake his hand off of
Makes
it.
his reindeer dog.
Yeah, well, that happens in a second. Because when he comes back in, he's trying to figure out what to do, and Max is dancing to the song. It's like, this year Christmas is for the dogs. And he's like
Bouncing around on two legs.
and he just turns like, what? Almost like, what do you want from me? Max is so cute in this movie.
He is.
But when he's doing the thing, it reminds me of your dog. Your dog does that.
Yeah, he does.
It's
It's his begging.
it's cute. And And then we get the Mr. Grinch song, but like a little bit of a revamp. It's not the deep down from the like the cartoon's a baritone.
Slight rocky.
Yeah, because it goes up with the Mr. Grinch.
Yeah, kind of a little soul too.
Yeah,
I like this version.
I like this version too. And we get the typical montage of him building all the shit, and he goes through a crash test. It's like a wheelchair. So slams into the wall. It's like, and he's like,
This is why
he's like, the airbags are a little slow, and they just now like it's like a balloon. He's like, this is why we do these tests. It's like clearly like some broken shit. And and then he puts a plate that says "Mean One."
Yeah,
that's like a new thing. He puts that on the sleigh, which is personalized and custom. And he makes Max the reindeer, so he takes like the thing, he sews it with the red, just like it says, with the red string, so it ties it to his head. I like how they kept it the exact same style.
Yeah,
it's one thing. It's like even how it prongs off is exactly the cartoon.
Exactly.
Like they really.
I think they tried.
Like this part of the movie, like, even the way he moves around the house and stuff.
Yeah.
In the cartoon.
Anthony Hopkins, as he was narrating through, and
he's doing like the lines.
Yeah, he was doing the lines, and they followed that pretty.
And then they have their own little touches here and there.
Yeah.
But like, which is what you should do when remaking something. It's like, especially like just like Rob Zombie with Halloween, like the second half of Halloween it follows the original with a touch. So it's like this is, I think, even better.
Yeah.
How it takes something that we love and makes it the thing we love more.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, because
I love the cartoon, but this is just more Christmas.
There's more. It's more like
more love,
more meat to it.
Yeah, more
to eat. Enjoy.
Yeah, I'm definitely down with that statement. This is my probably, as a director, this is my favorite joke in this whole movie. Is he gets Max to the front, he puts on a hat, like a director's hat, and he gets a little like megaphone. He's like, "All right," he's like, "You're Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and go." And he sits and he waits, and Max just goes, "Bring! Why didn't I think of that? Cut, wrap, print, we're done." And he gets up and he throws and walks away. And I'm like, yes.
So that part right there was not supposed to be in the movie. That was not scripted. That was not, the cameras just happened to be recording. Jim Carrey was making fun of Ron Howard.
I was like, I know, because Ron Howard always wears a hat.
Jim Carrey was making fun of Ron Howard.
I love it.
And it was, yeah. So that whole, and Ron Howard saw it and was like, "All right, perfect, leave it." So like that whole scene right there was not supposed to be in the movie. So that's just kind of a little fun bit.
You're a reindeer with a head of sleigh. It's kind of brilliant.
So yeah, that part was really funny. And so just since we're talking about Ron Howard real quick, one day, like, so Jim Carrey took 2 hours a day in the morning to get into the costume and 1 hour to get out. And he actually got in touch with a CIA agent and discussed anti-torture techniques because it was so much, like, he was like, it was just
like how to get used to torture,
getting in, yeah, like how to suffer through it, like deal with the suffering, because being in the costume, it was such like
it's hot
and something,
itchy,
you know.
The contacts are
so he actually got in touch with the CIA agent to learn how to deal with that, for one. And so towards the end of the filming, Ron Howard was so appreciative of Jim Carrey that he himself got into the Grinch costume. Like, he did all the makeup and everything that Jim Carrey's been going through and wore it all day filming while directing. And when Jim Carrey first walked out and saw it, he got pissed because he thought it was a stunt double who looked nothing like him.
And
he was like, "Who the hell is this guy? And why is he here?" And then Ron Howard.
Like, hey, what's going on, Jim? Oh!
Yeah. So
alrighty then.
I thought that was pretty neat. Pretty fun. But
Ron Howard, it seems like,
just the fact
he's one of the directors I'd love to work for.
Of all the suffering that Jim Carrey went through for this movie.
But at least he had a director who's like,
yeah,
thank you for doing this for
me. Ron Howard was truly appreciative of it.
Because, like, in the filmmaking business, there's times you will work for people who don't give a shit. They're there for the paycheck. They're just want to get
And
the
they will
picture
literally
done.
just
And you're like, hey man, this is uncomfortable. And they're like,
too
"Fucking do
damn
it."
bad.
But no, for someone to acknowledge what you're going through, like, thank you. Sometimes just a simple, even without the suit, just being like, thank you,
Yeah,
that will
help out drastically.
with someone's drive to do it. Because they're like, oh, well, at least I know if they feel like they're appreciated, they will work harder.
Definitely.
So like, but Ron Howard doing that, it just shows like he was an actor too. He understands. You know what I mean? He was an actor his whole childhood. So now being a director, I think he's one of the better suited directors because he's lived both worlds.
Right.
In fact, God damn it, we really got off track today. But this is a fun one. We've had a fun time
That's a
here.
good one.
So he goes off and does this again. It's just like a cartoon. He's like using a vacuum. He's sucking up all the presents. He's slithering around the
He
house.
sucked up a fish in reference to Dr. Seuss.
And he runs into Cindy Lou, who just like in the
It's a
cartoon.
broken ball, you know.
Yeah.
That's just what he says in the.
And then he sends her off to bed with the water.
Which the whole broken bulb thing might have worked on a 2-year-old.
But not this philosophical 20
But the
mindset.
12-year-old that is like.
But then
Cindy
again,
Lou,
if you ever woke up in the middle of the night, saw something odd, but you're like, just
I don't
fuck
give a
it.
fuck.
I'm going back to
Still,
bed. That's probably what she was like.
Yeah. More like,
He's like,
like Santa? All right, dude, whatever.
we're just down to her knees. And he's like, I got this ball. Cool. I'm going to bed. I'd be like, all right, yep, been there. I'm gonna see you when you join your band that rocks the world. So yeah, he does all this shit, but it's funny that they add in. This happens twice. Like he sucks up something. He's like, "What the hell is that?" And he like looks into the thing. And it's a cat. And it attacks his face. And then later, he's like in a house. He opens up a cupboard, and a cat comes out again. He's like, "Not again!" And he falls to the ground. I'm like,
The cat was the only victim in the entire time.
yeah. Food. He takes the crumb. He took a mouse. Fine.
Not a creature
I'd be okay
stirring,
with
not
that.
even a mouse takes it.
Let's see. Takes everyone's trees.
Literally just does what takes everything that is Christmas and not even Christmas, just everything basically.
And
Stockings, candy.
he goes to Martha's house. He takes the ring. Then he goes to the mayor's house and and the mayor goes like making a kissy face in his dream. And he takes Max and he puts his butt on his lips.
Kisses him. He makes out with Max's butt, and then they got Max's eyes getting real big.
And then he's dragging his butt across the car. Like gross, ew, ew, ew.
I thought that was funny shit.
Then they go take off now to gas for the sleigh. And he's like, I don't know why you're laughing, Max.
He's like, what are you laughing? No, he goes, what are you laughing at? Rudolph.
Yep. And then he's pulling it all the way up this 30,000-foot cliff, which has to weigh like a couple thousand pounds.
Yeah.
And
Little dog ain't doing that. Sorry,
No.
Max. I ain't got that much faith in
This is a movie dog, though.
you. Yeah, that's true.
And he's like, all right, they're about to wake up now. I got him. And he just doesn't. Yeah, he's waiting for the boo-hoos. And the mayor's like, oh my God, this is a disaster. And then this guy, his car is attached to the bed. And it pulls the mayor's bed out in the middle of the.
It's the cop.
Yeah, the
He's
cop.
like, oh, I've
been
my
robbed.
job. I got robbed.
But the mayor's like, oh, it's ruined. We don't have our stuff. And it's Cindy.
Stu.
like-
No, it's not Cindy.
Oh, it's Stu. Sorry, Stu. He's like,
You step up and stand up for your daughter, Stu.
yeah, he's like, hey, we're all here together. That's what Christmas is about. And then his wife aggressively makes out with him.
And basically has
He's
sex
getting
with
laid
him on
tonight.
the floor. Everybody's like, ooh, gross. Stop it.
And then, they all do they're happy, they're singing. And the Grinch is like, what? No, but I took all this shit. I spent all night. I got attacked by a cat twice. I steal all this shit. And you're still singing. And then he starts his heart explodes.
Yeah, his heart, he dies.
His heart
The end.
explodes because it grows 3 sizes. It does that whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like, Max,
I love you.
I love you. Come here. And Max jumps on top of him. He's like, all right, okay, all right. I know. Yeah. Scram!
All right, that's enough. Small
Yeah.
steps.
Yeah.
Take it slow, bub. I ain't love you that much.
Which I've had that experience with my dogs before. Like my Chihuahua dogs, and I'm like, oh, come here, give me some love. He'll like crawl on my chest and just keep licking me. I'm like, okay, enough.
Okay,
That's
that's
okay.
enough love.
Go away.
now.
Go away. I'm done. So like, I'm like, it happens. And Cindy at this point has come in through the trash chute. She just doesn't want him to be alone on Christmas.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know she's there.
She can't find him.
And
he goes up and sees him. She's yelling at him.
Well, no, the sleigh's coming down.
Yeah.
Off the side of the cliff. And he's trying to pull it, but he can't. And he's like, well, at least it's just toys. And she peeps her head over from the top. She's like, hey. He's like, oh, shit.
Now I gotta try.
And he's like, what are you doing here? She's like, no one deserves to be alone on Christmas. He's like, damn it. And he like hurls up, gets all the strength he musters, picks the sleigh up over his head, and brings it
he's mom's strength because apparently he loves Cindy Lou Who too.
Yes, this girl has got the soft spot in his heart. And so it's the typical end of the cartoon where he brings the shit back. And
saves the day.
He gets to cut the first slice of roast beast. And everybody's happy. It's a happy.
You know what the cutoff scene is? Cindy Lou Who giving Max green eggs in hand.
Because it's Dr. Seuss. So you gotta throw in those Dr. Seuss Easter egg. All right, DJ, final thoughts on The Grinch. And this is our last podcast of 2018. So, closing of the year. How's your podcasting experience been? Let's close out 2018.
This movie itself, it's funny. It's very well done. Considering of how much effort had been put into it, this could have been a terrible movie. Could have been just god awful. But the direction was great. The production, acting was phenomenal. Jim Carrey did a great job, and little Cindy Lou Who did a great job. Nothing bad about this movie really. I can't. Yes, it's cheesy and corny and
but in a good
over the top, but it's supposed to be. It's a kids Dr. Seuss movie. So I mean, really, it's not bad. It's supposed to be. So really, I don't have anything bad to say about this movie at all.
All right, my final thoughts on it. I think this is a classic. I don't know if it goes in my top 100 movies of all time.
No,
but it goes in my top holiday movies. It was in my top 10 Christmas movies list. Oh, shit.
Which we're having technical difficulties uploading.
All this stuff will be uploaded. There's 8 videos that'll be uploaded. I'm still figuring it all out. And this whole thing, this whole podcasting thing. We just ordered a soundboard, and we'll have 2 mics next time, and
not next time.
Well, not next time, but
soon,
early in the year. We'll have 2 mics, and we're expanding.
Working on it.
We won't be in his kitchen anymore. After probably in 2, maybe 3 podcasts.
February.
Yeah, February probably good. Well, we're getting there. We made a lot of progress on your man cave over these couple days I've been here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I can't wait to go next year and to take this thing higher and do more with it. Have more guests, and talk to more people. And we got movies coming out next year, and we have a crazy.
I'm looking forward to. We were going to do it right off the bat, but we're pushing it back to February. The top 10.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. Yes.
Of 2018.
Because I want to watch as many of them as I can.
And there's a few that came out towards the end of the year
that we gotta wait to come out. Yeah,
push that back. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, I am too. Because I'm just taking in as many as I can, and I'm like, man, there's been some good movies.
Which I know he just watched one that I highly recommended to him, and he ended up loving it.
Yeah, we will. That'll be a great list because really, there's been a lot of good movies in here.
2018 was a good year for movies.
It was. And there was also a lot of shit, but
there's always that.
But there's been a really good. Because sometimes you forget that it was the same year.
Yes.
Ready Player One was early.
Yeah.
And Black Panther was early.
Mm-hmm.
And
Avengers was early.
Yeah, Avengers is early. And you forget it's still the same year. But yeah, 2019 I think is going to be a good year for film. There's a lot of good films coming out. And there's be a good year for the podcast and for the channel.
Well, first when we come back, we'll have Tombstone.
Tombstone will be our first podcast of the new year.
Which that's one of my
It's
favorite
one of
movies
DJ's
all
favorite
time.
movies, so he's going to
Probably
be
top 3.
he'll be doing most of the talking through that
'Cause
film.
he's only seen it once, and I've seen
Twice.
it twice. I've seen that one a lot.
He's probably seen it twice, like this week.
In a day.
Right.
I love that movie.
So yeah. So thank you guys for the great. We started this thing in October. I've had a really fun time doing this. Thank you guys for watching so far. Please continue to watch, like, subscribe,
Have any ideas? Let us know.
hit the notification button. Get in contact with us. We want to hear from you.
I don't like people.
Get in contact with me. I would like to hear from you. Thank you guys for everything. Can't wait to do a new year. My name is Mac Taylor.
And I'm DJ.
And have a good night.
Happy New Year.